So there's an article that is going viral right now because this influencer, let me just read the title. Influencer Dominique Brown dies from food allergy at industry event despite informing staff of her allergens. And this was written by Nicole Massabrook. I would just like to say that Nicole is a very near and dear friend of mine. We've known each other from undergrad, and I'm so happy that somebody, especially somebody that I know, talked about this, because the company that killed this woman was really trying to push it under the rug. They have not, up to this date that I'm recording this, they have not released a statement. They have not formulated an apology. I don't even know if they've reached out to her family at this point. And this woman is dead because of their laziness, because somebody didn't cross their I's and dot their T's, because of they weren't paying attention. For whatever reason, this Black woman is dead. Now I'm gonna put on my seeing glasses so that way we could talk about this a little bit more. So Miss Angie Noir, PhD, her name is Christina Brown. She's also another friend of mine. Love her. Follow her. She's not very active on YouTube, but I will be including both Nicole's and Christina's other socials below, and the link to this article. So with that in mind, let us continue. So Christina says, apparently a Black woman content creator passed away at an influencer event due to a food allergy. Where the fuck is the public statement addressing this? Fair. To which somebody then responds, mind you, there's a lot of other responses, but I want to highlight this one in particular. She was my mom's best friend of 10 years. She asked if there was peanuts in the food and everyone told her no. When she instantly felt bad, she asked someone to take her to the hospital. Everyone said no and to take pictures first. So sad. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I talk a lot about decentering men and child-free living. If any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, and subscribe. And where does this fit in? I talk about all these things through the lens of intersectionality, right? So as a Black woman, I can't help but see the world through the lens of a Black woman. We can do everything right, and they will still be after us. Our lives are still on the line no matter what. So let me talk a little bit about how my experience of events like this work. So here is, I'm gonna touch on this in a second, but I'm just gonna put it here so I don't forget. So there are two kinds of events that people can get invited to that sounds like would fit under the umbrella of these kinds of events. So one is like a very small party. When I say party, I mean like a small group of people get invited to an overnight event where it's several days. Sometimes you get flown out. There are influencers, there are journalists, and there's a lot of time and money and energy invested into a select group of people. And you would get a list. Like sometimes there's like a mailed out list that goes out where you talk about, where you get to share if you have any disabilities, if you have, and the disabled community is also talking about like this, what has happened to Dominique, because the conversation is that these kinds of food allergies need to be taken with as much seriousness as disabilities, or they should be considered as disabilities, because look at what happens when they are not being considered, right? So there are these smaller parties that go on, or events that go on, where there is a list that you get to share. Hey, I have these food allergies, and then that gets sent out to restaurant chefs, That's one type. Another type is like a day or an evening, an event that goes on within the span of one day, where caterers come in and there's all this stuff, and there's all this food, and there's drinks, and there's networking, and there's pictures, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And as these things are going on, you can have conversations with people where you ask them, hey, is there anything in this food? And they could say yes or no, or I don't know. And if I don't know shows up, they should go over and ask the chef, ask somebody, hey, what's going, one second. There was a man with a loud car outside. All this to say is that regardless of if it is this event or this event, A or B, there would be food available for her, and she would have been able to let them know ahead of time, which it sounds like she did in all of the records that I've been reading of this. Hey, I have a life-threatening food allergy. if we're going to be eating, please let there be food available for me. And then it sounds like she was promised that there would be food that would be safe for her to eat. And then this happens. Now let's dive into here. So a source tells us that 911 was called immediately, and the company had previously communicated allergies of the guests of the venue. So she has shared, hey, please, this is something that is life-threatening for me. Please make sure that this is taken care of. It also sounds like there were no medics, little to no medics that were there at this event. You're going to host an event with who knows how many people, and you're not going to make sure that there's at least one medical professional on staff. This is concerning. This is scary. Lunchbox, which is the name of the brand that has essentially this young influencer, Lunchbox is offering grief counseling for both staffers and the Lunchbox Collective, the group of influencers that they work with regularly, of which Brown was a member. So you mean to tell me that she was a member of what would be called a collective, the Lunchbox Collective. Lunchbox sounding like you work with food consistently. So a food company, you have a select group of influencers that you work with regularly, and you could not get her allergen-free food? Black women can do everything right, and they will still kill us. I just want to take this moment to talk about this little clip that we've seen a lot of, but I really want to reiterate it from the CDC. The maternal mortality rate for non-Hispanic, subsequently Black women was 70 deaths per 100,000 live births. That is almost 3 times the rate of non-Hispanic white women. Being a Black woman is more dangerous than being a police officer, is more dangerous than being a skydiver. It is more dangerous than being literally any other demographic of woman, just to give birth, just to go to an influencer event for reasons outside. I don't have any answers in this video. I have no answers in this video. I am just upset, and this woman and her family deserve justice. More than just, grief counseling for the people that were around. They deserve justice, and that company needs to be held responsible. A lot of Black women, myself included, not just when it comes to have entered content creation, but have gone the route of being entrepreneurs, freelancers, independent workers, because of the amount of violence, of racism that we have experienced in traditional means of work, of corporate America, of those more traditional ideals when it comes to like making a salary, being able to pay for the life that we have to live under capitalism. One of the reasons, if not the reason, why Black women enter into or become entrepreneurs at a significantly higher rate than any other demographic is because we're just trying to survive. So if we get out of those structures, maybe we can survive and make money. And then we become influencers, we become content creators, we become freelance journalists, we become X, Y, and Z. And this is what happens. It is, once again, I do not have answers. I only have rage. And I think that also deserves a space. I know that Dominique is resting in peace. I hope that her family gets the justice that they deserve. I hope that, and that's what I hope. And I want more for us. I want safety for us. I want community for us. I want justice for us being Black women. Okay, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section. But that's all I got for today. All right, stay safe out there.